Yeah, Param. Thank you. Please start the program.
Thank you, sir. First of all, a very warm welcome to all the participants in this first BMA Friday evening talks of the month of October. And it is indeed a pleasure for us to start this new month, this fresh month, with an important topic as time management. A few words about the speaker. Dr. Kirit Makwana, our speaker for the day, has 27 years of experience in various domains of education institutes, and he is working as a principal of the BNB Institute of Technology, Vallabh Vidyanagar. Dr. Makwana is a master's in electrical engineering from the LD College of Engineering, as well as a PhD in the field from SP University. He's a Bureau of Energy Efficiency Certified Energy Auditor and a JEDA approved energy audit consultant. He is also a National Executive Council member of the ISTE for the period 2020 to 24 and the chairman of the Institution of Engineers, Vallabh Vidyanagar. It is indeed a privilege for all of us to be hearing from such a well-versed academician and a speaker. And without further ado, I would like to hand over the charge of the session to Dr. Makwana. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. Thank you, BMA, for inviting me to discuss on first things first. So let us start.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, please. Thank you, friends. First thing first. Now, in our profession, in our business, in our job, nowadays, time management become very crucial. We all are running here and there all day. We are working in a tight schedule. And we have to do something for the time management. We all are doing something. A lot of gadgets are available, tools are available, softwares are available. We are using all these things. But still, we are not finding time for ourselves. So let us see how we are managing time and what should we do to best utilize that time. In a traditional time management suggests that by doing things more effectively, you are eventually gain control of your life, and that will bring the peace and fulfillment you are looking for. This is what the PPA is, the time management. But in traditional time management, we are continuously complaining that I need more time. I'm always running around. I never have time for myself. There is too much stress. There is too much to do. These are our complaints. And we have seen executives running here and there all the time. And they could not spare time for their family, for themselves, for the important task that they have to perform, they are expected to perform. So that's why we need to have a new approach to the time management. There is one story of Raja Yayati. It's very relevant here. There are so many versions of that story. In ancient time, there was one Raja Yayati was there. He was a Chakravarti Samrat. He has won the whole earth. When he completed his 100 years of life, Yamdut came to take him with them. So Yayati start crying. Then Yamdut said, You are a Chakravarti Samrat. Why you are crying? He said, I have won the whole earth. I am a Chakravarti Samrat. I am a very powerful person. And during this 100 year of time, my lifetime, I have fought and won all the wars. I have fought so many wars. And I have spent 100 years in fighting here and there. And when the 100 years completed, I don't know. And I have not lived my life yet. The statement, I have not lived my life yet. So give me some years, give me some life so that I can enjoy my life. Yamdut find out the solution. One of his sons gave his lifetime to the Yayati. And again, Yayati got a fresh 100 more years. Again, after the 100 years, Yayati struck time. He said, I have created a big empire. And I have spent these 100 years, new 100 years, in maintaining this empire. So still, I have not lived my life yet. The story says he got that seven lives such, but he could not live his life because he was busy with some urgent problems. And we all see that urgent problems consume a lot of time. And we are not coming out of this urgency addiction. So the moral of the story is that urgency addiction, we are too busy. We need 48 hours in a day, but we have 24 hours. Now, how to accommodate our time, our working time, our social time, such that we can get maximum out of that time. So that is the time management. Time management is not just running behind the urgent problems. So we need to look at some of the part of this. We have to review this time management method we are using in our life. So that is one new approach, that is principle-centered approach. It transcends the traditional prescription of faster, harder, and smarter way of working. We are too fast. We are skilled. We are doing hard work. We are very smart, but then also we are not finding the time for ourselves. This approach provide us with the compass instead of clock. Now we are shifting to the compass. It is more important that where you are headed for than how fast you are doing. See, clock give you faster work. It represents faster, while compass represents a direction where we are going. So going faster and faster and faster is not the solution. Going in the right direction is the solution. A meaningful life is not a matter of speed or efficiency. See, we in our normal education system, we teach efficiency, we teach speed. You have to do how we can complete our task most efficiently and most quickly. So we need to change this approach, and we should have a principle-centered approach so that we can get maximum out of our time available, and we can live the life. A small Yayati is present in all of us. We believe that. We feel that we are not living the life up to the mark. So a new approach, that is the principle-centered approach. Let us discuss about how it is different than the regular time management system. As I said, there are two tools, clock and the compass. These two represent the time management system. When it comes to the clock, schedules, efficiency, quickness, faster, this represents the clock. When compass, largely focus on direction, principle, values. So clock represents what we do and manage our life. How we managing our life? While compass give us what we feel important and how we lead our life. So these are the two tools we are going to use for our time management, clock and the compass. It is not clock versus compass, but it is clock and compass. These two tools are quite important, and we have to give enough weightage to both of these tools. We are avoiding compass in a traditional management. We are focusing on the clock. Now we are giving weightage to both of these equipments, clock and compass. So let us go ahead. This is the time management matrix. Normally, these are the 4 quadrant activities. The quadrant 1 is the urgent and important. Now, what are the urgent and important activities in our life? Impending deadlines, crisis, emergency, some machinery is not working. I have to run behind it. Otherwise, my production will be stopped. Resolving immediate problem. Certain emails that may change your life. You have to give answer to the government emails or something official emails. We have to do this at any cost and immediately. So these are the urgent and important questions. This is called the quadrant of necessity. Quadrant 1 is the quadrant of necessity. And we cannot avoid at any cost. This is the quadrant 1. But quadrant 2 is the quadrant of quality and personal leadership. Now, quality and personal leadership. What is coming under it? Building long-term solutions, relationship building, building your dream career, personal development or skill development, improving our health, finding your life partner, living a fulfilled life is the quadrant 2 activities. These activities are not urgent, but they are very important. What we are today is because of the quadrant 2 activity. What we are today is because of the quadrant 2 activity. These are the most important activity, but these activities are not urgent. My health is very, very important to me, but not urgent. I'm not going to seek after an hour. I'm not going to seek tomorrow, but I have to give weightage to my health. That is very much necessary. My skill, my personal skill, my personal development is very, very important to me, but not just after an hour, not in a week, not in a month or a year. It's a very long-term process, but very important process. I have to take care of it. But in today's life, urgency is very important. We are running behind these urgencies. And running behind these urgencies, we forget quadrant 2 activities. You see that in my profession, if I do not read and if I do not update myself, I will be nowhere after a few years. Today I am all right. After a month, there will be no issue. If I will not focus on reading, I will not focus on updating myself. Even after a year, nothing will happen. But in a few years, I will be lost. Or I will lose my satisfaction that I have today. So quadrant 2 is the focus. Quadrant 2 represents the compass, while quadrant 1 represents the clock. In a quadrant 1 activity, that is urgent and important. We cannot go away from it. We cannot avoid it. If we will avoid it, then we will be in a big trouble. These are the everyday issues. I have to attend those issues anyhow. And today itself, I have time or not. Quadrant 1 activities are the necessity. I have to complete those activities today itself. And even not only today, within an hour, within a half hour, I have to take up these activities. Well, quadrant 2 activities, these both are the important activities. Quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Both are the important activities. One is today and one is a long-term activity. And the long-term activities, we forget to attend those activities because these are the long-term activity. It will not create impact today or after a week or after a month. But these are the most important activities. We are what we are today because of the quadrant 2 activities, not because of the quadrant 1 activity, but because of the quadrant 2 activity. Quadrant 3 activities. These are the urgent activities, but not important activities. Interruption, distractions, most of the phone calls, most of the emails, attending inconsequential meetings, spending a lot of time on a task, dealing with other requests. We are working for others, and such kind of activity. These are not important activities, but we have to take up today. These are the urgent. It shows urgent. These are not the urgent activity, but it seems urgent. So these are the quadrant 2 activity. Even we cannot avoid those activities. We have to do it, and we have to spare some time for this activity. Well, the quadrant 4 activity. Not important and not urgent activities. It's a total rest. Mindless TV, web series, chatting, gossip, news, phone calls, emails, irrelevant, excessive gaming. These are the activities we remain busy with, but these are not the productive activities. These are simply wastage of time. So these are the 4 major quadrants. The activities are divided in urgent and important areas. I repeat, because this quadrant we will discuss throughout the lecture. Quadrant 1 is the quadrant of necessity. These are the urgent and important activity we are facing every day. We have to take up these activities every day, every hour. Quadrant 2 is the quality and personal leadership activities. These are not urgent, but they are most important activities. Quadrant 3 activity. It is a quadrant of deception. It appears that these are the urgent activities, but not important activities. So we have to spare them also some time in the quadrant 3 activities. Quadrant 4 activities are the wastage, total wastage. And people are sparing time for these activities also, we, including me. So these are the 4 quadrants of the activities we take up throughout the day. And this is the time management matrix. The next is quadrant 2 activity. Which quadrant 2 activity affects most in our life? If you discuss with the 1,000 people, that which quadrant 2 activity is the most important in your life? 1, improving communication with the people. Better preparation. Better planning and organizing. Taking better care of self. Seizing new opportunities. Personal development. And empowerment. These are the 7 activities. I would like to say that the whole presentation I have prepared from a book, First Things First, by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey took that interview of thousands of the people, that which are the most important activity for your professional life and personal life and family life. These are the 7 activities, quadrant 2 activities. These activities are important, most important, but not urgent. Improving communication with the people. When you improve communication with the people, for example, in my profession, I'm a principal. Team building is the most important thing because I have to manage at least 200 people, 200 staff members and 2,000 students. It's a huge mass. And if during their study time, a student will bring one problem to me and staff will bring one problem to me in a year, I will remain busy solving those problems. So team building for me is very, very important thing. So I have to spare time for team building, and communication with the people, with my people, is the most important thing. And for the organizations, those who are the managers, general managers, and directors, this communication is very, very important. And as you improve your communication, actually you are reducing your problem. So this quadrant 2 activity, the beauty of this quadrant 2 activity is that it will reduce the load of quadrant 1, because less number of urgent problem will come to you. If you are doing the best in the quadrant 2, improving communication with the people, better preparation, better planning and organizing. Planning and organizing, we are giving not enough time for these activities. Japanese people are giving the best time to these activities, planning, organizing, preparation. If you have the best plan and best way you execute it, you will face a minimum problem. So planning is a very important stage. Preparation is a very important stage, and we need to improve week by week. Every week, every month, we need to improve in this area. Taking better care of self. This is the burning issue. We are all facing it. Taking better care of ourselves, our health, our family life, everything affects you. If you take care of yourself, you can do better for your organization, you can do better for your family, you can do better for your friends, you can do better for the society. So you must have some time for yourself. Otherwise, all the quadrant activities, all of your activities will suffer, and you will increase your burden. You have to invest more and more time in quadrant 1, 3, and 4 activities. So if you do this best way, taking better care of yourself, your burden will reduce. You will have much more time for other purposes. Seizing new opportunities. Now, this is the world of opportunities. When we remain busy throughout the day, we didn't have any time. How can we seize a new opportunity? So, seizing a new opportunity, we should spare some time. Where the opportunity, where I should go to find a new opportunity, I must have a plan for it. Personal development. People at a very higher position. If we discuss with those people, those who are vice president, those who are principal, those who are vice chancellor, those who are big politicians, after a few years, they give up this activity of personal development, because now I am busy as a vice president, now I am busy as a principal or vice chancellor. How can I spare time for my personal development? You become principal, you become vice president, you become better businessman because of your personal development, because you have gained that capability, you reach there. Now, if you cannot spare some time for your personal development, you will stop there. You will not improve yourself. You will not improve your business. You are not improve your career. First part is improve your personal development, and then you can have other areas where you can give improvements. So personal development is the very key area. Empowerment. We should feel empowered, and we should empower others. If we feel empowered, how can we feel empowered? Simple way, you empower others. When we empowering others, actually we are getting empowered. If you have a nice team, if you have a very nice team, and if you can spare time for your team, if you can empower your people, eventually you will be empowered. You will be free, you will feel lighter, and you will empower. You can face new opportunity. You might spare some time for other work also. So these are the 7 activities Stephen Covey has sought out after interview of thousands of the people. So these are the most important quadrant 2 activities. See here, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, or 3, 4 activities. Everyone has a different activity. Everyone might have their different priority. So there is no standard planning, but one has to build the list of quadrant 2 activity for themselves. What can we do for this quadrant? First of all, this quadrant 1. As quadrant 1 is the quadrant of necessity. No, we cannot avoid it. We have to do it. And we have to do it now only. Every day. No compromise on it. Second quadrant is a quadrant of quality and personal development. It's an important, most important, but not a. We can schedule it, and we have to schedule it. If you want to progress, if you want peace, we have to schedule these activities. These are the most important activity. We can schedule it in a better way. Third is the quadrant of destruction. We can have some urgent work, but not important work. We can delegate it to others. Here, the time is wasted only. We are wasting our time, but it seems urgent. So we can delegate it to others. Here, we are not at any loss. If we are doing it, we are delegating it to others. Actually, we are doing it. And so these activities, we don't need to go into the details. We have to delegate to others. Simply, we can do that. And we can spare some time. Fourth quadrant is the wastage of time. We can eliminate it. We can give up the serials. We can give up some of the gaming, online gaming, etc. So this is the way how we can do. We can handle these quadrants. How much time we should give to any quadrant? The size of the quadrant here on the screen is the quantity of the time we give every day, on everyday basis. How much time we should spare for the Q1 or Q2? The size of these boxes show the quantity of time we should spare for it. Traditionally, almost 40-45% time we should spare for quadrant 2, ideally more. But 40-45% of our time should be given for our personal development, and that is the quadrant 2. It is 30-35% of the time we should give to these urgent activities of quadrant 1. We should remain busy with our necessities for 30 or 35% of the time. Quadrant 3 activity, because we cannot avoid certain kind of the gossip, some phone calls, some emails, which appears important to us. So quadrant 3, we need to spare 5-10% of the time to quadrant 3 activity. And again, if we can avoid, we should avoid quadrant 4, or we can spare 5-10% of the time in quadrant 4 activity. But the focus is the quadrant 2. The whole time management concept, or whole first concept is focused on quadrant 2 activity, because it is giving us the edge, it is giving us the satisfaction, it is giving us the fulfillment, it is giving us the meaning of life, and that's why we are focusing on quadrant 2 activities. Normally, we maintain diary How we do the time management in our life? We maintain diary. We maintain to-do list. Now this to-do list, if you see that, you can go to your to-do list or go to your diary, revisit it, and you will see that almost all the activity you have written are urgent and important activities. This is called the urgency addiction. So all these urgent activities, all the activities in our diary are urgent activities. Our to-do list is a totally urgent activity. So in a day, because a day gives you a narrow vision, and therefore we need to prepare a worksheet for a week. A week gives us the context. A week gives us a bigger picture, and therefore we need to prepare a weekly worksheet instead of a daily diary maintained. How we can prepare our weekly worksheet? List the 3 or 4 things you would consider first things in your life. For me, reading. For me, continuously updating myself is my first thing. I have to do it at any cost. This is the most important for me. Similarly, some of the activities you can find out for yourself, which you consider first thing. So you have to list out 3-4 activities, which are the most important for you. You should spare some time for these activities. You should be better in those activities. Consider any long-range goals you might have set. In fulfilling short-term goals, meeting the deadlines, completing the orders, whatsoever, we forget the long-term goals. We all have long-term goals. Goal after 5 years, goal after 3, where I see myself after 10 years. That is very, very important for me. I have very high goal, but I do not work for it. If I will not work for my higher goals, how can I achieve it? I should have some time. I should spare some time. I should do something for my bigger goals. So in a weekly worksheet, we should accommodate this long-range goals. Think about the most important relationship in your life. Relationships. We are all social animals. We cannot live in isolation. We are living in the society. We have our family. We have our neighbor. We have our friends. We have our colleagues. We have our bosses. So we need to take up all these relationships. So, but what are the most important relationships? And what we can do for that relationship to improve those relationships? We need some time, and we have to spare this time on a weekly basis, not on daily basis, but on a weekly basis. And how we can accommodate it, we have to find out in this weekly worksheet. Peace, confidence, happiness, contribution, meaning, these are our feelings. And how we can reaffirm these feelings. What can we do for this kind of our feelings? How I can build more and more confidence? I should have some time. On weekly basis, I can do something for it. Think about how you might spend this week if you know you only had 6 months to live. That's a difficult thing. But we have a very limited span of time. We may live 70, 80 years. So those who are reaching 40, they might have 30, 40 years. So 30, 40 years. I am 50. So where are 50 years gone? I don't know. We have not planned for it. But I can plan for the next 10 years. I can plan for the next 5 years. Right? But I have to think that to accomplish those goals, I have to think that what I can do maximum in the next 6 months. So 6 months is again a criteria. that we have a life of 6 months. So it gives us a better context, and it gives us the clarity what we need to do. So these are the basics of this weekly worksheet. This is the worksheet. Simply, it is again a to-do list, weekly to-do list, right from Monday to Sunday. What action we allocate and where. So these are the normally 8 to 8 schedule is given here. And what we can do. The difference only is on the left-hand side of the sheet. We have another box shows roles and actions. And below that, there is one box that shows the sharpen the soul, sharpening the soul. Every people, those who learn management or they're in management, they know that what is sharpening the soul. There are 4 human endowments: spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. We have to do something for it. Let us closely see this sheet. Sharpen the soul. These are the 4 dimensions of our personality: spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. These are the 4 important needs, which make summing all this becomes us. Our physical requirement. If we will not focus on it, we will create some big problem for us. It is said that in any of the professions, specifically in the people in the research area or people in the academics area, you get matured at the age of 55 or 60, where you can contribute maximum. And those genius people dies around 60, 65. When they are able to contribute maximum, they will have no time spare for themselves. And that is the big issue. And physical or say health issues are nowadays a big problem for all of us. So we need to spare time for exercise. No compromise to it. We need nutrition food. No compromise to it. Stress management. It's a big issue. Otherwise, you will be sick after some time. If you take the load continuously, you will be sick. So here you cannot make any compromise at all. In all the 4 areas, we cannot make any compromise. We have to spare time for these activities. Second is the social emotional area. For family, for friends, our team, our colleagues, our boss, everywhere. We are connected socially or emotionally. If we are not good in this area, we are missing a lot. After a longer time, we feel that, oh my God, I've lost many things. Few weeks back, we had a get together of our school friends, those who are studying with me in 4th, 5th, 6th class. I became principal 10 years back. Everybody called me Dr. Makwana sir. Nobody even knows my name. Certain people know me, but they do not know my name is Kirit. And since for many years, nobody has called me Kirit. But that area is a different area. Where we have gone there, I am not the principal, I am no respected more. Those are my friends. Everyone called me Kirit. And it was so good. And some people say, Kiritio M. It happens. So, social and emotional area give meaning to it. And it is the where we should contribute maximum. Because we are human beings. We cannot live in isolation. Similarly, mental health. It is also very, very important. And developmental development, reading, visualizing, writing. These are the important areas which give us make us mentally tough and strong and improve our mental health. We are fighting mentally throughout the day. So our mental health, we cannot compromise here. The next is the spiritual. Value clarification and commitment. Study and meditate. This is a very important, very, very important dimension. If you meditate regularly, your life will change. Even for 10 minutes, not more than that. Just 10 minutes. If you can meditate, you will remove all the chaos of the life and come to a standstill situation. You will be prepared for the next day. You can be prepared for the next fight. This is the very important dimension. And regularly spiritual workshops are organized for higher level people, those who are very busy. They must spare some time for this spiritual dimension. So these are the big things which made us an important person in the society. And we need to spare time for this activity. Otherwise, at the end, after 10 years, after 15 years, you will see that you have reached somewhere, but where you have reached, you miss the direction. These are the direction points. It leads the life in a right direction. Every week, we need to spare the time for these 4 activities: physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So what are the goals? We can define the goals. That in this week, what I will do for the exercise, for my social life, what I will do, for spiritually, what I will do for a week. Every day we do not need to spare the time for this activity, but in a week, we need to accommodate all these components in a week. And that's why it's a weekly worksheet. Therefore, we can accommodate all these 4 areas in a week. At least we need to touch it once a week. Now, these 4 areas specifically: physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Normally in our education system or in our corporate life, everywhere we have find out quick fixes, cramming, shortcuts. We are successful. We have taken those routes many times. We all have crammed during our education. We all have taken shortcuts in our corporate life. We have quick fixes. Even today, we are using all these things. But these are the 4 areas where you cannot have any quick fix. You cannot have any cramming. You have to give the time to this activity. You have to nurture this activity, and therefore you will become strong. Here only one law works, and that is the law of fun. What is the law of fun? This law of fun states that a farmer will have a good harvest only if he plans and works diligently over a period of time in the farm. He has to do many tasks at the right time, in the right order, if he wants to get a bumper crop. No quick fixes. You have to work hard. Simply. There was one example where a person bought a new bungalow, a big bungalow, have an open space around. So he want a beautiful garden. So he contacted one person, one expert, and said, see, I don't have much time, but I want a beautiful garden in front of my house. So do some automatic system, automatic sprinkler, automatic cutter, or something like that. And I want a beautiful garden. The expert says, if there is a no gardener, there will be no garden. You have to spare time. You have to do some activities, and then you can have a beautiful garden. Otherwise, not. So farmer has to prepare the field, plant the seeds, nourish the soil and seeds, water the plants, provide protection to the plants from the insects, protect plants from the insect, disease, and animals, take care of the weeds, and complete watching over the crops regularly. None of the activity is optional. You have to take all these tasks at the right time and in the right order. And then you can achieve, you can have a bumper crop. Otherwise not. Otherwise you are compromising something. Here also, in all these 4 areas, physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. These areas are also governed by the law of farm. Like we have to plan our finances, take the different steps at different time, and monitor and review our progress to achieve the financial freedom. We are doing it as far as our finance is concerned. We are doing it. You have to take all those steps one by one. If you are not going to take, if you will not monitor it, if you miss one step, you will lose something. So here in these 4 areas, all these dimensions, physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Remember, the law of farm acts in only law of farm, no quick fixes and no other solutions. You have to take steps, you have to spare time, you have to work hard, and then this you can achieve this endowments. So sharpening the soul, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. We have to write down our goals on weekly basis here. I will exercise or I will walk 30 minutes a day, 4 days in a week. This is my goal. I have to write it down here. And I have to spare the time somewhere in my worksheet. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. 8 to 8:30 in the morning, I will walk for 30 minutes. That's it. This is my physical goal. Similarly, for social, mental, and spiritual, we have to write down our goals here, and it should reflect in our worksheet. These are the big areas of our life. We should spare our time here. This is what the management gurus give the example. In a jar, we have to put our big rocks first. So these 4 areas, physical, mental, spiritual, social, and emotional, we have to put this rock first in our worksheet. We have to put these goals first in our worksheet. Then we can have a smaller goals in between somewhere. Second thing is, if you see, sharpening the soul, these 4 areas we have discussed, then roles and actions. These are also very important things. So, identifying our roles. We may have important role at work, in family, in community, another area of the life. This role represents responsibilities, relationship, and area of contributions. Much of our pain in life comes from the sense that we are succeeding in one role at the expense of others. We might do much better as a vice president, but we are not fulfilling our requirement of personal development. And after a few years, you realize that I missed this. So we have to identify our roles. A clear set of roles provide a natural framework to create order and balance. See, we might have many roles, and we have to create balance between these roles. Normally, in our routine life, we disturb this balance. We give much weightage to one role and we just give less weightage to another role. We are compromising at some level and we are giving much weightage to another level. Study shows that mentally it's less effective to manage more than 7. We have to define only 7 roles. We might have more, but at a time, in a week, we have to take up the 7 roles. After, in the next week, we can accommodate another roles. But at a time, in a week, we need to take these 7 roles only. Role might be you are a father, you might be a son, you might be a spouse, maybe neighbor, maybe colleague, maybe boss, maybe junior person, whatsoever the role you might take. But 1 week, in a 1 week, we can take maximum 7 roles. Maximum 7 roles. It might be 3, it might be 4, or 8, but maximum 7 roles. So here, rules and action. Therefore, if you see this sheet, I have downloaded from internet. It is available freely on internet. So in any sheet, you will see that there are only maximum 7 roles are given. So for each role, as a father, what will be my action in this week? What will be my goal this week? As an employee or as an employer, what will be my goal this week? I have to touch that role once a week, at least once a week, maybe daily, but minimum once a week. I have to define these 7 roles and I have to do something for these 7 roles. These are the important quadrant 2 activities. Now, before beginning of the organizing for the next week, I have organized 1 week. I have defined my 7 goals. And my goals are also, I have defined my goals also. All these goals are reflected in the worksheet. Then sharpening the soul goals, I have already placed there. The remaining schedule is for the quadrant 1 activity or quadrant 3 activity. So here we are putting the first things first. Sharpening the soul and our roles are our first things. That's why it is said first thing first. These are the first thing. We have to define it in our worksheet. We have to put these big rocks first in our worksheet, and the remaining time we can spare for quadrant 1 or quadrant 3 activities. Sometime for the quadrant 4 activities also, if time permits. So the priority, where we are giving the priority, sharpening the soul is the very first priority. Our roles is the second priority, and quadrant 1 activities, urgent and important activity, is in our third priority. So we are here in this time management, we are taking this compass action. What is most important should be the first. What is the less important should be the last. So this, the whole concept is this: first thing first. Important things are first, and less important things are then. This is the whole concept. So after this schedule, sharpening the saw, roles, and quadrant 1 activity, if we have prepared this sheet, then For the planning, when we plan for the next week, we need to ask certain questions to ourselves. What goals did I achieve? In last week, what I have achieved? I have completed all such tasks or not? What challenges did I encounter? Because a new concept we are adding. So are we comfortable with it or not? What decision did I make? In making decisions, did I make first thing first? Suppose you achieved half of your quadrant 2 goals, you said, would that present more time in quadrant 2? We realize that the quadrant 2 goals I have placed there, but I'm not successful in it. I have not given enough time for it. Should I give more time to it? If you are still able to put more time in quadrant 2, what difference would it make in quality of your personal and professional life? When you start doing this, you will see that after a month, after a few weeks, that your life is changing. You are becoming a better person every day. You are becoming a better manager on everyday basis. So, if we feel that, if we are getting the result, should we put more time into the quadrant 2 activities? And if it allows us, we should spare some more time into this quadrant 2 activities. The whole idea and the concept I have taken from the book, First Thing First by Stephen Covey. It's a beautiful book. We have covered the half area. Here, while deciding the quadrant 2 activities, we should connect it with our mission and vision statement if we have. If we have defined our mission and vision, personal vision and personal mission, then we can connect quadrant 2 activity with that mission and vision. Because mission and vision are very long-term activities, long-term goals. So half part in this book, how to connect our mission and vision is given, which we have not discussed yet. There is one famous quote by somebody in Gujarati, very nice quote. ચાલતો તો ત્યારે લાગતું તો એવું કે મારે જેવું કોઈ મળ્યું. We are all successful people. ચાલતો તો ત્યારે લાગતું તો એવું કે મારે જેવું કોઈ મળ્યું નથી. સહેજ પાછું વાળીને જોયું તો થયું કે ચાલ્યા એનો કોઈ અર્થ. This might be a feeling of many businessmen, many successful people, many bureaucrats, many politicians. So, because they have out of balance the things, we have to keep complete balance in our life, in our endowments, sharpening the soul area, in our goals, and in our urgencies. So if we can balance these three things, sharpen the soul area, roles, and our urgencies, we could lead to a better life, better, meaningful life, fulfilling life, and the result is the satisfaction. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirit sir. ગુજરાતીમાં એક કહેવત છે કે જે આચરણથી શીખવાડે એ આચાર્ય, and that you have showed us with perfect timing, perfect beginning, perfect flow, without any disturbance. Excellent presentation, sir. We have learned so many things today, and this was kind of amazing preparation by you. You have prepared the presentation within no time. Yesterday only we talked, and today you are ready with the presentation, and nobody in the world can say that this presentation is prepared within a day. Excellent, sir. We appreciate you like anything. We will proceed with the question and answer session. The first question we have is for the new business owners like startups. What message you want to give to them for the time management?
Yeah. For the startup, see, startup is
Yes,
a
sir.
new idea, right? You come with a new idea. You come with a new business. You should be more and more stronger mentally. And then you can pursue your business. For the startup people, quadrant 2 activity, again, far more important because it depends on you, not on business. It depends on you. Startup people fail. Why? Because there are more chances that they start because they are not in a routine business. It depends on an individual. If you come out with the starter, you should be very strong. And you can be stronger if you spare more and more time in a quadrant 2 activities. So urgency addiction, they should avoid the urgency addiction as far as possible because you are bringing a new idea. You should be very comfortable to disseminate this new idea. So for the IT companies where new startup comes, you see that they are rather than running around, they are more relaxed, they are more capable, they are stronger people. So for the time management, yes, you have to work more hours a day. You have to work more hours a day, but it doesn't mean that you compromise your quadrant 2 activities. You can spare a few hours more to meet those urgent needs. But yes, you cannot compromise on quadrant 2. Otherwise, after startup will become younger, you will see that you are wear and tear out. No, you need to be stronger and even faster. Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we have next question. Say, for example, we have 100-hour project.
Yeah.
Then how many hours you are suggesting us for planning?
It depends on the project itself. If it is a new project or older project or repeated projects. So depends on that project. We must have at least, if it is a 100-hour project and if it is a new project, then minimum 10 hours planning should be needed. If it is an old project, you can have a couple of hours or 7 hours. But minimum 10 hours planning is required for a new project.
Okay. And the next question we have is for students, like academic students, for industry and academic connect.
Yes.
What kind of suggestions you are giving to students? Like what kind of project they need to select, what kind of timeline they need to decide, what kind of team they need to prepare, what kind of guidance academic, like so many questions are there in this. So what is the best suggestion for selecting academic project for student with the timeline?
Yeah. See, compared to past, today, industry and academia, both are quite open. If you are a student, go to the industry, talk with them. What are their problems? You know, there is one competition of a computer engineers. It's called hackathon. In this hackathon competition, the team works on a particular problem. We give them problem. That suppose we have a 20 teams, we give 20 problems to them. They have to select their own problem. Many problems are directly from the industry. So they have to work on particular problem for a day or a couple of days, right from 8 to 8. Suppose at the 8 a.m. the problem is given to them, they have to come out with the solution, whatever they have, by the 8 p.m. all the 20 days. And they work for 12 hours, 8 to 8, 12 hours, and come with the solution or partial solution or such, just the beginning of the solution, whatever. And this is the most appreciated by the industry. People working in the industry are far more open than the academicians. It's true. Students are wrongly afraid of those people. Go to the industry, discuss with them what you can do for them, what sort of the project you should take, because they are in an actual field. They are dealing with the actual situations. But academicians are teaching you theories. Now, theories are here, practices are there, and a student should become the link between these two things. If you want to be directly in the market, contact industry people, see their problems, what you can do for them, select that way the projects. And I have seen that those students who take such projects directly from the industry are far better than others. Their employability is much more higher than those students who score much more marks. Because you may have good result, but your connection with the industry or your liveness will be less. When you go to the industry, see what their problems are and how you can contribute to them. It will give you a sense. You can understand their problem and it will reflect during the interview. Even one project I have given in 2000, just I will take 2 minutes. I don't know what was PLC. I'm an electrical engineer at that time. When I was a student, I have never studied about the PhD. It was not a part of my syllabus. And being a professor, when I was teaching, PLC was not in the syllabus at that time. But PLC is very important for the industry. So in a particular project, I have some fund. So I have procured one PLC and given it to the students. Do something with this toy. See some automatic sequencing and everything can be done with the PLC. Do it if you can do it. If it is broken, no problem, but do it someday. Do something for it. You will be surprised. All 4 students in the Gujarat as the electrical engineering know what is PLC. Only 4 students. Wherever they go, they get selected because they know about this PLC and they work for a few months on PLC. So what is latest in the industry? When you go to the industry, you know it. And you are far better than those who have scored higher or lower. So go to the industry, meet those people, discuss it, and it will lead to your project finally. Please.
That's an excellent answer, sir, and a very good message for the students. Now we have a question from the industrial front. What do you suggest for time management for project team members? Like how they can manage their time effectively, team members and managers.
Yeah. See again, here is the matter of planning, right? So planning and execution, both are very important things. So connection between the team is the most important thing. I did so many projects. One of the college has a project of high tension. They have a problem that they have to take the high tension connection. So it's a big thing. But we had a team of 4 or 5 people and very nicely designed, very nicely, just we have divided our tasks. A little bit overlapping, but the project was divided nicely between 4 or 5 people. And without any burden, without feeling any burden, we have completed that project. So the manager job is to connect these team members. See, team is there, but how they are connected with each other. The whole team, the connection between the whole team is very important. This is the basic thing. What the project is, how much time it requires, it's the second thing. but how the team is connected with each other, team members are connected with each other, is a very, very important. And what is the level of communication between these members? Communication of manager with the team and team communication with the manager. So communication and connection, networking is the key between the team. That is the key, and this will save you lots of time. Please.
Yes. Thank you, sir. It was really a wonderful tip, and definitely all of us here and all of our listeners on YouTube will also take this tip and we'll try to work on it. So, on behalf of the entire team of Friday Evening Talks and Baroda Management Association, I would really wish to thank Kirit sir for sparing his valuable time. And since our childhood, we see one thing, that teachers are one of the greatest sources of inspiration when it comes to time management, because they always have a set curriculum and they have a limited period within which they are supposed to teach their students, make them understand and make them excel in that curriculum. And that time may also be interrupted by various events or various other reasons, and amongst those they plan, they prioritize, they teach, and they make their students excel. And therefore this session on time management is very aptly taken by a person who is an academician himself. And sir, thank you for giving us such valuable and actionable insights into prioritizing and managing time, because we always hear time management, we have lots of speakers and books and everything, but the most important thing that you taught us today was prioritizing. As you rightly say, first things first. So unless you prioritize, you cannot manage your time, you cannot manage your work, and you cannot complete your work within the given time. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful session and for such actionable and practicable insights into prioritizing and managing time. I would also like to thank the committee of Baroda Management Association, President Deepak Shah sir, Vice President Nimil sir, and the entire managing body for giving us this opportunity and for giving us such wonderful talks every Friday. And thank you to all the listeners also for being with us, for joining us, and for making this a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kirit sir. Thank you for sparing a time for us and making this presentation in very quick time. We really appreciate your efforts, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Param, can we conclude the session now?
Yes, I think we can conclude the session.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chirag bhai. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.